for the Richmond Heights Charter Review Committee meeting to order. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, he did.
Sorry.
Got her.
I figured I did somebody one time.
Rest, yeah.
Maybe it's my
I bet you always saw it when we meet, didn't you?
I'd like to stand for the pledge of allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We now have a roll call.
Dwayne Crackle,
Here.
Stephanie Douglas, Carl Drummer,
Here.
Donald Houston, Elliot Eisenberg, Stanley Jocelyn,
Here.
Arnetta Parker, here, Shardina Williams. Shardina Williams. No, okay.
Sure, do you gave me a call, said she's going to be late.
We're running.
I'm sorry, Danielle Cadu.
I'd just like to make a motion that Donald be excused today from our Charter Review Committee. Do I have a motion? It's been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Donald be excused from our meeting.
Who moved or Stanley? We moved.
Stanley
Stanley
moved
Johnson.
and
Okay.
Elliot seconded.
Oh.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. We have a reading of the minutes.
Charter Review Committee minutes from Tuesday, May 13, 2014. The meeting was opened at 6:00 p.m. with the Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call and all committee members were present with the exception of Danielle Cadu. Chair Drummer moved to excuse Danielle Cadu, Donald Houston second. The vote passed. The minutes were read and Stanley Johnson moved that the minutes be approved as read. Donald Houston second. The vote passed. Unanimous. There were no presenters for today's meeting. The next scheduled presenters for May 20th are Denise Spencer, Recreation Director, and Will Roberson, IT Consultant for the city. Shardina Williams discussed her assigned section, Article 5, Sections 1 through 8. The powers, in particular supermajority and mayor issues should be reviewed. Term limits are concerned for discussion. Other items appear to be in line with other city charters. Section 8, removal. Language is a major issue. The people voted for the mayor. Perhaps the language should have to read to go to the public for removal. Todd Hunt stated that the qualifications to be mayor and acts of moral turpitude are obvious issues. Other issues such as violation of oath of office. How is that to be determined? It is subjective. A suit can be filed in probate court pursuant to the revised code for malfeasance, nonfeasance, and misfeasance. David Lynch stated that the concurrence of 5 members can amount to a high level of subjectivity and high ambiguity. Due process requires notification of charges and witnesses to be brought in. Any appeal must be filed in common pleas court. Shardina raised the question of, if removed, the mayor would be spending time defending the charges. Arnetta Parker asked, would the swearing-in change date for the mayor affect the swearing-in date for council? The response was, it does not have to, but it is an issue that should be given some consideration. Dwayne Crockett stated that there needs to be cohesive language for transfer of duty, legality of bills, turning over keys, and laws carried out. Chair Drummer presented to the committee the clerk of council book with the codified ordinances. Todd Hunt stated that the book is updated once a year, consistent with state law, and can be reviewed upon request. Dwayne Crockett discussed his assigned section, Article 6, Section 2. Section on positions appointed by the mayor needs language regarding duties and reporting requirements to the mayor. Chair Drummer asked the question, if the reviewing team does its work, why does approval of the candidate have to go before council? There was a lengthy discussion on council's involvement in affirming the mayor's selection for employment positions. Shardina Williams asked, how do you integrate the search committee into the charter? Response, that kind of language is not seen in other charters. For high-profile positions, it is common practice to form a search committee. The discussions turned to city contracts with the suggestion that the public bidding amount be lowered to $20,000 and the possibility of creating a purchasing agent position. Todd Hunt stated that the charter permits cooperative bidding with the state and that there are procedures for competitive bidding. The state limit is $50,000. David Lynch stated that terms can be consolidated for bidding and presented to council without changing the charter. Currently, contracts are taken to committee, finance, and then to council. The process is tedious. Todd Hunt stated that Ohio law is the lowest responsible. The best contract is not always the lowest responsible. Stephanie Douglas reviewed the summation of the presenters' comments, suggestions, and recommendations brought before the committee. Stanley Johnson moved that the meeting be adjourned. Elliot Eisenberg second. The meeting was adjourned at 7:05 p.m. Respectfully submitted. Stephanie Douglas, interim recording secretary.
Thank you, Stephanie. Are there any additions or corrections to minutes? Is there a motion that the minutes be approved as read? Minutes be approved, first approved, second?
Second.
Been moved and second that the minutes be approved as read. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion has been carried. Today we have two individuals that's going to sit down with us and share some information with us. The first one will be Will Robinson. He's from PC Alternatives, and I think that's part of the computer system that you work with off the city in Richmond Heights.
Yes, sir.
Good. Would you like to join us at the table? We'll appreciate it. There's Mr. Will Robinson. I'm Tyrone Drummer, and the other committee members can introduce themselves. Go around the table. Start with Stephanie.
Stephanie Douglas.
Arnetta Parker.
Denal Cadu.
Elliot Eisenberg.
Dwayne Crawford.
And Mr.
Dave Lynch, we've met before.
Right. And I'm Will Robinson, as in Boston's face. Danger.
I was going to ask you how.
Right, exactly. So, I'm honored to be here, and I'm a 22-year resident of Richmond Heights, and I love the community. I have 5 kids, and 4 of them graduated from Richmond Heights High School, and so we've been here a long time, and I've been fortunate and blessed to be the IT guy for the city for maybe 8 years or so, and in that neighborhood before the new city hall. So I was around back when everything was in what is now the fire department, and my company has been in business for 22 years, and we serve other cities too. I work for about 10 cities. And we do various levels of IT work for those cities. Some cities we do City Hall, and some cities we do City Hall, Fire, and Police. Sometimes we do Building Department. It just depends on the city constitution, but primarily we do IT work. Myself and my partner, Justin, we're a 2-man company. 3-man, well, my wife also manages the books and the finances, so that's a very important part of the operation. But and occasionally we subcontract with other individuals and companies when we're doing big jobs. We did the new city hall here, in the fire department. I contracted with a couple other companies to help us out, and we cover all aspects of IT. We do phones, we do surveillance, we do security, we do servers, we do web design, we do internet installation, just anything that pretty much has a chip in it. We service, maintain, manage, repair, or consult for. For the city of Richmond Heights, we were honored to install all the networking and cabling in the new city hall, this building, and fire department. We connected it with the police department so that the three buildings share one common backbone. We set up servers, we set up cameras, we set up phones, we set up Wi-Fi, all the video projectors, internet access, printing, copiers, just about everything that's technical in city and fire and building department down the road, we installed and maintained.
And how about updating? What do you do towards updating?
That's a very good question. We try to keep this city and all the cities that we support in compliance with whatever the current software regulations are at the time. For instance, Microsoft just recently, and they don't do this very often, but maybe every 10 years or so, Microsoft will decommission a product. A product will reach end of life, as it did in the case of Server 2003, Windows XP, Terminal Services 2003, Office 2003. All of those older products that are now about 11 or 12 years old, those have basically been decertified. Microsoft no longer supports them. They become a playground for hackers and people that traffic in malware and viruses. So what we try to do is recommend strongly as humanly possible to our clients, please update, please upgrade, please move away from these products that have been deemed on the blacklist per se, and move into a product that's more supported, more stable, more secure.
What about, has the city been hacked?
No, and when you say hacked, I have to say that's kind of a loaded term in that hacked has various definitions depending on who you talk to. There's a certain perception about hacking that means some bad guy in a dark room is infiltrating our network.
Sorry.
And, yeah, that's a hack, for sense. No, just kidding. No. A hack, and let me just be more specific. To be hacked really means that someone has unauthorized access to your network, and they are using information or data for either financial reasons or malicious reasons, or to exchange it for some other reason. That's typically, what hacking is. So have we been hacked in that regard? No, not on my watch, not that I'm aware of. No one has infiltrated our system and pilfered data or obtained information illegally or compromised the integrity of our network. To my knowledge, that has not happened on our watch.
Is there anybody that can arbitrarily come in from the outside into this net?
That's another good question. We are equipped with a state-of-the-art Cisco firewall here at the city, and this firewall basically is managed and maintained with security software, and we have good security protocols in place. And in addition to our firewall, we also have a secure network. Our server is secure, our workstations are secure, and when guests come into the city, like into this room, sometimes this room is used as for community functions. Sometimes people will bring laptops into the council chambers. They'll bring laptops or tablets into the city hall to conduct business, show demonstrations, show their wares, whatever, and we'll give them a guest access to the internet. They'll be allowed to access Wi-Fi, but on a private circuit that's completely independent and discrete from the city's circuit and the city's Wi-Fi network.
Now, they have, a lot of cities are now going to an operation of a Wi-Fi for the entire city. And it's free to the citizens of the community.
Yes.
Is this city thinking of doing it?
Well, 2 cities that I represent have looked into that. It's a great idea, but it's not always the most easy thing to implement. To my knowledge, I have not been in any discussions about what's called, it's Wi-Fi, but there's a term for it that makes it available, and it just skips my mind right now. But no, we haven't looked into providing that kind of public access Wi-Fi, except down at the pool. At the pool, we were asked, and we did install a localized public Wi-Fi for use at the pool. And people would have to come within a certain vicinity, and they would be given a password, and they could access the Wi-Fi. But in terms of citywide Wi-Fi, we have not looked into that in any meetings that I've been a part of.
What would be the logistics of Wi-Fi in the city?
Right. It would be a matter of working with someone like Time Warner and AT&T, both of which are contractors for the city, both of which we work with for our current internet access. But it would involve purchasing equipment. We would have to purchase some pretty expensive equipment that would transmit Wi-Fi throughout the city. It would involve adding what's called repeaters or amplifiers. It gets a little expensive, and more importantly, here's what I've noticed in the cities that I've worked with and the cities that I've visited that have this global Wi-Fi. It's really kind of poor service. It's very slow. It's just a tad better than the old-fashioned dial-up. It's down around what I would consider low 300, 500 megabits per second. It's a slow bandwidth, so it probably wouldn't be used for more than its practical use would probably include sending and receiving email, and maybe reading the newspaper. You really wouldn't be able to transmit video or audio. I doubt you could even watch a decent video on YouTube without having jittery or distortion. Yes, sir.
You've been here for 8 years, so you've worked with Mayor Ursa under his administration. Who did you report directly to through the 8 years prior to the new mayor?
I started out reporting to Linda Rothsetter. That was the first, and typically I reported to the finance director.
To the finance director.
Right. Even in what Linda's successor, Paul, was the person that I primarily reported to. Service calls would typically be channeled through the fire chief. If it were a fire department issue, it would be channeled through either Dina or Linda when Linda was here, or Dina or Paul when Paul was here.
And currently you report to who?
Currently I report to pretty much directly to the mayor. Yeah. And I mean, when I say that, report to, what that constitutes is, for me to come on the premises, usually I'll get a call from administration. Just anyone can't call for our services. We sort of control that because we want to make sure that whatever work we do, we're compensated for it. So, you know, if the custodian calls us, we're not just going to run out here. But typically, we'll get a call through administration, or it will have been vetted through administration. If the building commissioner calls us or the recreation director calls us, they'll have let someone in administration know, hey, we need Will, or we need PC Alternatives, can we call them? The copier's not working, the phones are down, the power went out, whatever the case might be.
That's the name of your company, PC Alternatives?
Yes, sir, PC Alternatives. Yes, sir.
Will, have you been approached by anyone to set up streaming or live video of our city council meetings?
No, I have not.
Do you do that?
Yes, I do. And as a matter of fact, I think it would be, I have this one page here. This is not a city that I represent, but it is a city that I visited and did some work for when I was called on. And they have a grid here that lists all their city council meetings, their commission board meetings, their special meetings, and there's a spot here where a resident or anyone can just click one of these videos and boom, they get the entire city council meeting in video or audio, and they get all the vote counts for each council person, how they voted, yay or nay, if they were in attendance on every single ordinance, every single issue. It's all there on the site, complete transparency, and it's not, in this particular case, these are posted after the meeting. But you can also stream the meeting live, in that the meeting could be running, the video could be running concurrent with the live meeting to our site, if our site was equipped for it, or to a YouTube channel or a Ustream channel, all of which are free of charge. We would not have to pay for any of those hosting services. We would just stream the meeting and boom, it's there for the public to listen to in real time.
Is that a public website that you are showing?
Yes, ma'am. This is a public site.
And
So not only residents, any non-residents can visit.
can you share with us the name of that city?
Well, this particular city is Long Beach, California.
Okay.
And the reason I brought this one up is because my brother-in-law lives here, and I helped him with some work. But there are cities closer to home that do this as well. I just brought this one up because I just thought it was laid out so well, and it's just so easy. I'll just pass that around if you want to look at it. It's just so easy to use, and I just think that it gives the residents an opportunity to see what's happening in the city in real time, or they can have it posted and see it afterwards. There's been no, I haven't been asked, and so it hasn't been presented. And one of the reasons I hadn't said anything about it in the past is because there were money issues that were a prohibition to that, because there were some things that I had suggested to prior administrations and finance directors that would even be less aggressive than that, like just audio recording the meetings. You know, I work down the street at Highland Heights, and we just set up city council meetings. They're all recorded. There's MP3s for every city council meeting. Boom, you download it. If it's a non-executive session meeting, it's available on MP3, and it's free download, and it can be. They're not streaming live, but the MP3s are posted right after the meeting.
What would that take to do that?
Just some simple podcast equipment, a couple mics, a laptop. We're at City of Valley View, we're using a laptop, and some recording software, and the clerk of council records it. When the meeting is done, she presses stop, she presses archive, the data is saved, the file is sent to a server, and they can upload it to their site. Their webmaster or even the clerk of council or the assistant finance director puts it up on the site, and it's there after it's been formatted, it's available to the residents within 24 hours of the meeting or sooner.
Hey, other than the external technology, technological needs, the wiring, the hardware, what would the limitations be to our current website for implementing that, if there are limitations on our current website?
Yes, but there are a lot of limitations on our current website.
For
We
example?
could, currently, it's like the old saying, we can't get there from here.
Mhm.
Our current site is not written in language that is conducive to this type of interactivity. It's an older language. It's not constructed in a way that would allow us to link to, say, YouTube or to Ustream. We would really need to do a rework. To do it right, we'd have to do a rework of the site. Otherwise, if we cobble all this together, we're gonna have this Frankenstein site and it's gonna break.
So if we were to go this path, your recommendation hypothetically would be to totally redesign our
Yes.
website,
Right.
which would update it to the current technical support
Right, right.
needs, which would easily allow us to take this approach to archive, display, and stream our meetings, our council meetings, and archive all public activities on our website such as that.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying that in a self-serving manner,
No,
because
I
I don't do that. Of all the things we do,
Mhm.
we're not web designers, so
Mhm.
there's no money in it for me. I would be glad to serve on a committee to evaluate prospective web designers that would engineer a site like this, but I think that we would need an updated site that would support newer technology, a modern programming language that would allow us to do video streaming, allow us to do live audio, allow us to interact. Residents could submit questions. They could actually interact with the meeting in real time, like sending a tweet, using Twitter, posting something on Facebook. I know that may sound kind of like outrageous, but some cities are doing that. They're really integrating social media into their government, and it's become a great tool for transparency and the city being able to interact with their residents.
Absolutely.
Will, approximately how much, I know it's an approximation since you don't do it, would it cost to upgrade the web?
You could do a decent site, probably for about $3,000 minimum.
That's it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it may not have all the whistles and bells, but what our site is right now, this is called an information site. It's an informative site. It's basically designed to put information out there. You push PDFs out there, you push JPEGs out there, and it's available to consume. There's very little interactive. There's no forms, there's no commerce, there's no multimedia, nothing like that is going on our site. It's a static site.
Right.
So to create a dynamic site that would allow us about $3,000 would get us a basic site that would allow us expandability. It would give us the ability to grow and to add these other things as we want to. We could add them on incrementally. They call it they call it sourcing, a site that would source.
What would source site be with the LSN source?
Well, if we could do things like host live video, if we could have it where residents could send in questions or comments or feedback, a help desk, as it were, a resident suggestion box electronically. Residents being able to log in and seeing how the council voted on a certain issue, that type of thing. So when I say whistles and bells, I don't mean like we have to get like super elaborative. I think just a site that scales to our needs, has built-in expandability, and has a good, well-written foundation.
I think our needs are pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
We just don't have the technology or the software they can handle it. So, you know, when you look at some of the other websites, like Long Beach, I go there to pull down job descriptions
Yeah,
for us.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
kind of rework them.
right,
But they're just ahead of the game.
They're ahead of the game.
And so
right.
there's a few other cities that we can borrow from.
Exactly.
You know, just simple job descriptions and head of departments. And,
Right,
you know, some departments want their own access.
right,
That's okay. If each chief want to put something special in there
right,
that's meaningful to the city,
right,
they should have access. But then there's a, you know, the mayor and the council would probably have a separate site
Right.
to some
Right.
degree. And of course the mayor.
right.
But we're not necessarily there, and it's easy money, sounds like.
3,000 is a lot of money to me, but it should be a lot of money to a city, you know. And when I say it's a lot of money to me, I'm just being facetious. There are sites that cost $300,000, you know.
Sure.
I mean, you know, healthcare.org cost about $3 million, you know, and it was broken the first 3 weeks. So, I mean, sites can just go all over the place. But I think just a good site that gets us started, you know, we could spend $3 grand and be off and running, and I think we could do a lot of these things in short. Yes, sir.
Strictly from a legal perspective, would there be the ability to enhance the user's access to the various links as well? And I only ask the question because if anybody's tried to look at the codified ordinances and charter of the City of Richmond Heights, by going through the City of Richmond Heights website, I don't care how fast a desktop or laptop is you're on, it becomes slow once you get into the Walter Drain
Right.
website, and it's very frustrating, I would think, for a citizen,
Right.
discouraging.
Right, absolutely. And I'll tell you, that's a very good point, because Brandy just called me, I did just something on the site, and again, Justin and I aren't developers, but, I mean, we can do first aid on a site. So, we had to do some first aid on, and yeah, we have stuff that's taking us off of our site, which is an absolute anathema for any website. No one wants traffic being diverted from their site. You want all the hits, you can get. You want move up that search engine as much as possible so that your link is tapped, you know, towards the top of Bing or Google search displays. So yeah, we have items that are taking us off of the site. And you're right, those codified ordinances, that is like slow. It's just like it's brought to a drag. And that, you're right, it has nothing to do with bandwidth. It has nothing to do with the processor of your computer or your tablet. That's purely a programming coding issue that we could correct with a redesign.
And I'll mention one other aspect that is frustrating to the citizens here, because I experienced it myself, and that is, if you go to the codified ordinance, you decide you want to print something, God help you, because it'll print something else. Or you know, or you want it doesn't even give you the capacity to print one page. It's
an interface issue.
It's an almost prehistoric relationship with the user.
It's an interface issue, and we could fix that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, a basic site, $3 grand would allow us to at least keep any visitor to our site. Here's one other thing. Chief Newman asked me if I would get some statistics together for him about traffic to our site and some of the demographic designations of who's hitting the site, when they're hitting the site, what browser they're using, where they're from. You know, all of these things could be, you know, assembled. We could get a really good collection of information about the type of people that are using our site, what they're looking at when they come to richmondheightsohio.org, how long they're landing on a page, how long they're staying there, you know, what they're doing, what they're downloading. We could get all of that. We have very little of that. I mean, for a few of my clients, a few of my non-municipality clients, I manage their web search engine optimization. I manage how traffic is funneled to their site. And some of the statistics that I provide for them are mind-boggling. I mean, I can almost tell you, you know, the ethnicity of the visitor. You know, I mean, there's certain digital fingerprints that every user that hits our site leaves, and our site is not pulling that information off of it. So we're like, we're flying blind, so to speak, in that we don't know who's using our site, what resources they're after, how long they're there, what they download, what they're looking for. We don't have any of that kind of feedback, and I think if we use something like Google Analytics or some of these other tools, we could, you know, we could harvest that information and be able to make, you know, good decisions going forward, at least from the standpoint of the residents that visit the site.
Is City Hall equipped or ready for streaming? Would it be much work to do in the City Hall chambers?
Well, we have Wi-Fi in here. That's on one channel. We have Wi-Fi in City Hall. Is it working right now, Justin? Okay, it's not working right now, so that needs to be fixed. And then we have Wi-Fi for the entire City Hall. The flavor of internet that we have right now is probably not the fastest. It would be taxing on the system, but the good thing is that if we're talking about meetings that occur in the evening, then that means that there's no other usage in City Hall. So that allows us to maximize the bandwidth resources, so we could probably could push it through. We might could do it. We may need to upgrade a little bit. We use AT&T for internet, if I'm not mistaken. Here, we use Time Warner in the fire department. So we would probably...
Excuse me, why?
Just to note that down.
Well,
Speed.
I don't even know if I'm at liberty to say this, but I'll just say, basically, it's my understanding, and don't quote me, I think the fire department gets a better deal through the union by going with Time Warner. I think there's some special rate that they enjoy.
But that should be for the whole city.
Yeah.
I don't think it should, well, I don't think special.
We were with Time Warner when we were across the lot, right?
Yes.
Right, Justin? We were with Time Warner. We made a decision over here to go to AT&T. I don't remember all the specifics. Do you remember, was it a logistics issue?
We went with, no, it was basically purely a finance issue. Over in the fire department, the firemen decided long ago that they liked Time Warner better, and so they paid for their own internet out of their pockets. The city does not actually pay the Time Warner bill for the fire department. The firemen divvy up the bill amongst themselves, and they pay for it out of their own pockets.
Pay for whatever they want.
So we have Time Warner in the fire department. We have AT&T and police and City Hall.
I have a very basic question. Is there a line item in the budget for Richmond Heights for this one? Is there a budget established for continuing IT investigation or changes that are necessary?
The answer appears to be no.
I'm asking the
I'm
question.
getting a head shaking. I'm getting a head shaking from the peanut gallery guy.
I didn't even know the peanut gallery was here.
He just showed in time to shake his head.
I didn't see
And
Sugar
I
Head.
apologize, this may have already, I'm sure, was asked and answered, but I need to know. Who maintains the site? I know in February when I went on the site, it was, nothing was current. Not only was it impossible to navigate, but the information on it was just so outdated. It didn't even have a current mayor. So I did mention that to the mayor. So I haven't been back on because I didn't find it useful for me. But
Right.
who maintains the site? I mean, no city goes from December to, it was either the end of January or the beginning of February. We're not even having the current mayor and the current council people were not at that point.
Well, I'll defer that question to the city council president, who's just graced us with his presence. In terms of maintaining the site, currently, it has been maintained, and correct me if I'm wrong, David, by you or Betsy or?
A number of people have tried to maintain the site. The specific question on the mayor's webpage, that was asked many times of her to supply whatever she would like to have on her page, and she did not do that.
Okay.
All she indicated was she wanted all images of the previous mayor taken off, and that was
Okay. So it's been management by committee. There hasn't been one specific. We haven't been asked to manage it, and we couldn't manage it because we're not webmasters. But it's been basically not under our domain. We've been basically handling hardware, software, telecommunications, that type of thing.
Since April 9th, it was under the total control of the mayor. She had the passwords and
So as of April
user
9th,
IDs.
the mayor is the keeper of the keys for the website?
Yep. She had the website moved to a different server with different passwords and user IDs.
Is that a function normally of a mayor or city council? I would think.
Who normally
required
did it
a
before?
I thought the
professional.
IT person would.
I should think it's all stemmed straight to the mayor.
But when you
That's
think,
an employee or a function of operation.
yeah,
So it's the mayor's function. I don't know that the mayor's
So the previous mayor?
end result on it.
So Mayor Ursu did it?
Probably not. I don't think he did much of anything.
Well,
Who
look
kept the
at,
website up to date under Ursu's?
I did the majority of it as a
Okay.
donation of my time. I spent 7 or 8 years and thousands of hours.
and we. and-
But everybody assisted. I was not the content person, I was the technical person. All the content was supplied either by the department heads, the mayor, administration. Anthony did recreation items. So we divvied up the responsibility.
In the cities that I represent, about 10 cities, the majority of them, if not all of them, manage the site in-house, and all of the content is vetted through the mayor's office. It may not be the mayor himself or herself specifically. It might be an appointee, it might be an assistant, but it's usually, everything comes through administration. And the mayor may not be personally uploading data to the site, but he or she would designate someone to do that kind of work.
What other cities do you represent?
I represent Moreland Hills, Bentleyville, Valley View, Cuyahoga Heights, University Heights, Highland Heights, Richmond Heights. We do some work for the city of Cleveland, but off campus, not city hall work. Pepper Pike, some work for them, some work for Woodmere and Newburgh Heights.
You should be rich with all that.
Well,
He fails to take a whole year, a whole year that he does.
well,
I mean, that's pretty interesting, that to stream or go live with things, $3,000 to $5,000. I think that probably should be something that maybe should be, discussed. Maybe at a later date.
well, in some, just if I can just add one thing, in some of the cities, you wouldn't even have to hire a videographer, like we're recording these meetings. Well, in some cities, there are cameras that are in fixed positions. So like this city that I showed you where I did this Long Beach, California with my brother-in-law, those cameras are fixed cameras. So someone, the council president or the janitor comes in, hits a switch, camera's rolling, video is rolling, no, don't have to pay a person, don't have to pay a company. You hit the switch, it's rolling, it's streaming. Someone turns on the bandwidth on the internet and you're live. And so the upfront cost would pretty much be the only cost going forward that you would incur, because there would be no human resources involved other than occasional maintenance and upgrades, and cameras here, cameras in council chambers, and you're done. Because all the other infrastructure is in place. All of these rooms, we've already wired all of these rooms. They have Ethernet jacks, they have Cat5 e-cable, they have Wi-Fi equipped. So other than the cameras and the recording software, we have the servers upstairs. So the heavy lifting has really been done in most cases. So we're talking just a few little things to add cameras and microphones, which are relatively inexpensive.
Very interesting. Any more questions for Will Roberts?
When's he going back to space?
Lost his head, heading back in orbit right now. Danger, danger.
Well, we want to thank you for sitting and enlightening us on the IT side of things, and we appreciate your comments and your direction. So I want to thank you. We might call on you again. So
I'll be honored.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay. Well, Mrs. Spencer is, at the moment she's not here, but we're going to give her just a little time. What I guess we can do is continue on with our suggestions, recommendations for a charter. I have this piece of paper, I mean, that I wrote while I was sitting there, while we was all talking, so. There we go. So we can continue from where we left off last week. About a good 10 minutes if Mrs. Spencer is not here.
Did everybody present?
I mean,
Did everybody present?
no, this is just,
Start.
Dwayne was the only one that presented. So we can, I just took it down and took it back. That was just a little graph I threw up. If it stays. Well, you know what, I didn't bring the tape today, but I thought this was good.
Let's see if I can find something quick.
Do we have any volunteers to start? Or shall I just pick?
Can I actually, I don't want to review my piece, but it's kind of a housekeeping piece, if I'm allowed.
Sure.
This particular piece of the charter was not assigned, but it's kind of a housekeeping, and maybe as we go through. And it's the editor's note on page 1. Although it's not an assigned part of the charter, it is part of the document. And it states that the dates that an article is amended or revised is to be noted in a certain way. And as I move through the charter, I noticed that there are several places where this is not done. And I just want to bring it up as a housekeeping item. And I also want to possibly add that if we do a recommendation, that if we include these corrections, that we can also include in that particular issue any other typographical corrections as we find them as we're moving through. So my first, I have 3. The first one is you'll notice you have a table of contents. And in your table of contents of the charter, in parentheses, it has the dates of the amendments for that particular item. And there are 4 items that are not noted with the amended date. And one is Article 4, the Council, Section 9, on page 10. The table of contents reflects no amendment date for that article and section, but the body shows the amended date of November the 3rd, 2009. And my recommendation would be to update the table of contents to reflect the amended date. The second omission is on page 13. Article 6, Administrative Departments, Boards, Commissions, Section 2B, Director of Law. The table of contents reflects no amendment dates for Section 2B, but the body shows an amended date of November the 3rd, 2009. My recommendation would be to update the table of contents to reflect the amended date. The third omission is Article 6, Administrative Departments, Civil Service Commission on page 21. And after duties on page 21, the end of the first paragraph shows the amended date as 11-4-03. My recommendation would be to type that amended date out as it shows in other places as the charter. So the reason I would like to bring this up is, first of all, this is in the editor's note, which is not really part of the charter, but is part of the document. And as anyone moves through their assigned sections, if they see any typographical, we can include that as part of this recommendation, if so deemed by the committee at a later date.
So you're recommending,
The corrections to Article 4, Section 9,
but you're generally just recommending update.
updating
The date.
the date. No changes to the charter. These are cleanup. These are housekeeping items that
When
should.
they were last passed.
Right, exactly, amended or revised. And based on the documents of the editor's note, there is a format and a procedure, and it's not followed here. And I just wanted to get that out there, so as everyone's going through their portions, if they see a typo or something that could be considered housekeeping, it would be included in this recommendation as a bullet item for change. Thank you.
Actually, it's probably not something that needs to be passed.
Oh,
Needs to be
well,
just
when,
formatted.
It's formatted, yeah.
Yeah,
But we're gonna just keep putting everything in on the
Absolutely.
board.
yeah, well, it needs to be corrected.
Right.
So, that's absolutely correct.
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
needs to be corrected, but,
And it's kind of significant to us. We've done all of this work based on this documentation, and then to find that what we were reading and viewing has already, in some incidents, there has already been a change. Because I was looking up with yours. I mean, there's some of it that's already been changed. So are we now, if we don't know that it's been changed, are we now, we're saying go back to what it was
No.
already changed? No, I'm saying,
Oh.
no, I get what you're saying,
Okay.
but if we don't know that,
Hmm.
because we're not working from a live document anymore, it's static, you understand what I'm saying?
But
So
we have
that's
no,
significant.
what you're saying is we have no history.
Exactly.
So we don't know what was
exactly.
there.
But we should be, like what you just
sorry,
mentioned,
sorry.
should already be there. But because it's not in this document that we're working from, just like to recommend that we change a budget that in the last review, they recommend to increase, now we don't recommend to decrease, well, we wouldn't know that because it's not saying, with our sections, we need to know the
Probably
last
need to find
time
history in.
that everything was amended.
Right.
Has it ever been amended? And what were the amendments? So I think everybody
Well-
needs to go back to their section upstairs. Is
Can-
it there?
well, since I was given the section on amendments,
Perfect.
I understand, at least per this document, the format, and that's how I caught these omissions. If you have an article section, an article and a section that has a date in parentheses in the body of the charter, that's an indication of the
Right,
last
right.
revision. If what you're saying is you have an article and a section and there's no date after it, and there's no date in the table of contents, of course we would not know.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
There's
I
no
would
date.
have, if there's
no
no,
date, it's never been.
it's
changed.
never been amended, but if you're saying there's no date in the table of contents and no date in the body, I don't think that is possible. It's a legal document, I think it has to be. I don't know, I can't, but that's something to consider. I do know that if a amendment was placed on the ballot and did not pass, that is not noted in the charter because it has no impact on the charter.
Thank you. We're gonna probably extend the meeting another 15 minutes to give Denise, the recreation director, who has showed up. So Denise, if you'd like to join us at the table.
Okay. I apologize. I was actually trying to get some interviews out of the way tonight.
We understand. Everybody's busy.
Yes, I was trying to get as many of those interviews and different types of things that's going on over there in the recreation department, trying to get it out of the way.
Well, how are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Did we address you as Denise Spencer or
That's fine.
Denise? Okay.
Denise is fine.
I'm Tyrone Drummer, and I'll let each one of the committee introduce themselves. Starting with Stephanie.
Stephanie Douglas.
Arnetta Parker.
No, Purdue.
Stanley Johnson.
Tony Eisenberg.
Julian Williams.
Wayne Crawford.
Nice to see you.
Well, welcome, and welcome to the Charter Review Committee. And so you can just give us a little background history, your present plans, your future plans, or anything that you, if you read the charter, your opinion, or amendments, or recommendations, or stay as is. We're open.
Well, of course, I'm the recreation director here. I've been here, approximately 1 month, maybe a little over a month.
You're welcome.
But I've been actually in Richmond Heights for over 20 years. So, and I've been associated with the school system, done a variety of different things, family and civic engagement coordinator, coach, special needs, security, girls, have different programs, and been involved in a variety of different things right here in Richmond Heights. As far as the charter is concerned, I don't want to come in and say, change this, change that, do this, do that. I think you guys are doing an excellent job with what you have at hand. And all that you do know is just like what you just said. You don't know all the history. And there is no system where you can actually just plug and play and put it in and say, okay, well, if I type in budget, then it'll automatically pop up everything that has happened with the budget. We wish that there were a system of that nature. But I think it's going to take a lot of what you guys are doing at this table today is just kind of going through it piece by piece, bit by bit, taking your individual pieces and trying to figure it all out. Like I said, I just got in, so I can't come in and say, oh, you know what, how about this, how about that? I would rather sit back, kind of listen, absorb it all, understand what's going on, understand where you guys are coming from, have been, and where we're planning to go as far as the city is concerned before I start chiming in so much on everything and saying, oh, let's do this, let's do that. Because you probably have already brought those points to the table, or you may not have thought about it in a different mindset. But when I bring it, I want to make sure that I understand it fully and wholeheartedly. So as far as the charter is concerned, I really kind of want to just understand what all it encompasses, where your focus is, where the city's focus is together, and actually administer the way that we do things in the recreation department to actually fit a lot of the things that you guys have already started on your way to do.
Thank you for that.
Once again, I apologize for running behind
It's okay.
recreation.
That's okay, that's okay, that's okay.
Yeah. It was a
We
long hours here, boy.
appreciate you taking your time out to attendance. We
No,
appreciate it.
no problem, no problem. I actually thought I was gonna be done by 6 o'clock today, so kind of pushed over and I'm waiting on one other person to make it. But I think you guys are doing an excellent job. There is a variety of different things that recreation can bring to the table to assist you in a variety of different things that you have already been working on. I would like to know what you guys suggest that we do that's already been talked about here, that maybe I can incorporate in what I'm doing.
Well, I'll just, the parks are looking very well, very good, in healthy shape. I visited 2-3 of the parks and seen a lot of kids over there in the park. It's safe.
Okay.
So I can see a change in that area. Not somewhere I've been all over the city looking, but the 3 parks that I did visit, they were maintained. And you can tell there was some good work done to it, so I'd like to thank you for that.
I'm trying. There's a variety of different things that I've taken a task on with the parks. Is my kids play in the park. I have kids. I have an 18-year-old. I actually have a kid that I kind of adopted from the school. She's 20, but I have an 18, 16, about to be 16, and a 5-year-old. Whereas my kids are involved. We live right here. We've been here for, like I say, about 20 years now. And I believe in having the atmosphere where we can be active. This is our family orient. So we should have it where families can go out and hang out, and they want to barbecue, then barbecue. If you just want to kick around a ball, you know, then you can do that also. We have nice yards at our own homes, but in the same sense, to leave your home and go to a park and be able to do the same thing that you can do at home is just a plus. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. But I'm not doing any more than I would do at my home.
Absolutely.
To make it presentable and well to do, so that my kids can have the same pleasing atmosphere.
Do you have any special ideas in the recreation department?
I'm a big ball of ideas. That's what I do. That's all I do. That's why I'm here till what time? I wake up at 3 in the morning. Well, actually right now, and I'll just kind of share this. This is like a peek into my life right now. I'm focused on one of the biggest things with me here in Richmond Heights that I feel that we've neglected for years is, first of all, special needs. We've not had any special needs right here in Richmond Heights in a while. We've had connecting cities that have had special needs programs. And I do know a variety of different people that are in special needs already. And so one of the biggest things for me is to actually function and put in place some programs, events, different types of things that we can actually be proud of as far as special needs is concerned. So that's one of the biggest things. I've already been in contact. We actually are going to be, and this is totally, the mayor don't even know this one, so I'm going to let y'all in on it. The only reason I'm doing it is because I know she has special needs in the house. So we have already connected with, we're going to be doing this summer some camps and clinics where we can have them, and I've had a meeting with our special needs department over in the high school, and we talked about how we can incorporate what we're thinking of doing here in recreation alongside of what the school system is doing after the school closes on June 9th. But I've already been in contact with some therapeutic courses. I love horseback riding. I'm a horseback rider. So some therapeutic courses that possibly we will be doing some clinics and camps with. Also, K9 Kingdom across the street has her therapeutic dogs, and she will be doing some, she'll be volunteering her animals for that. And we're also actually looking at different types of athletics that we can do with the kids, mind games and different things that will enhance the special needs programs. We also have senior citizen programs that will be coming, and events that will also be added to what has already been done in the past. We're all about enhancing, making it larger and bigger and better, and also adding to. So we have a variety of different things. I've already met with like most of them, all of the senior citizens here in the city. I've been going to their meetings, and when they play cards, I'll come in here and hang out with them for a little while and things of that nature, just getting ideas. One of the biggest things that we're planning to do this summer is doing, of course, we're going to bring back the concert, the outdoor concert. That's not only for special needs, because we have some younger kids that actually have given them opportunity to kind of showcase their talents also. But we do have some of those particular programs that they love. We will be doing some of the casino trips and also the, well, I guess the casino/shopping trips. We're doing that. We already have a couple planned and scheduled. We are, oh my gosh, I got so much, I don't know. We're going to do computer classes for senior citizens. We're going to do social media classes for senior citizens so they can start getting in there and feeling comfortable with doing it, you know, asking questions and having those times where they can come in and say, you know, my kids texting me, what does this mean? You know, what does OMG mean? I don't know what that means, you know, those types of things. I mean, basic stuff for us, but, you know, for someone that's never used it, hey, why not? And these are things that I've gotten from them, and at the same sense from myself. I thought about different things that my mom needs. So I'm like, you know, I text her, and she's like, okay. I'm like, Mom, do you text? You know, so just different things that we've talked about over a variety of times. I don't know, I got a lot for senior citizens. They've been on my case, so I love them to death.
That's right.
I do have a lot for them, as well as the younger kids. Because when we think about recreation, most time we think about what kids. We have the younger kids, but we don't have a lot of things going for that middle-aged kid. You know, the kid that really kind of gets lost in the rut when you're going from middle school to high school. You don't have a lot going on. To the 14 years of age, from 12 to 14 to 15 years old, there's no jobs. You can't go get a job at 15 for, you know, 14, 13 years old. But at the same sense, parents are looking at them like you should be able to stay home by yourself. What are you going to do at home? Look at TV, play those little arcade games, things of that nature. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to provide some activities for them to also get caught up in, get consumed in, get locked into. So we're going to be doing leadership focus groups. We'll be doing some different types of life skill programs. We'll also have some opportunities for them to start some fundamentals. My biggest thing as a coach is that we don't have here in Richmond Heights a feeder program. We don't have anything that starts and they begin with the fundamentals and understand by the time they get to high school what you should already know and what you're going to learn from this program. So my biggest thing is to bring those feeder programs here. And that's from softball, volleyball, basketball, fast pitch, soccer, tennis. And you ask, how are you going to do this? Believe me, we have talent right here in Richmond Heights. There are people within Richmond Heights that actually take their talents elsewhere. You know, why not have your talent right here showcased in your own backyard, in your own home, with the kids that you see each and every day walk down that street? Why not give them that opportunity to grow and be as strong as you know you already are? So in a lot of the different things that we're actually trying to do, we're going to offer some academics. I've categorized it in 3 different portions. Academics, which is anything that you're learning from, mind games. And that's just getting back to the board games. Not even talking about the arcade games or the things that you can actually go online and do. We're talking about a variety of different academics. I've talked to the school over there. We're going to partner and do some things throughout the summertime with some of the teachers, some of the aides and things that don't have anything to do during the summertime. They're going to come over and they're going to do those. They're going to volunteer their time. Not only that, but then we have some retired teachers here, right here in the city of Richmond Heights that, you know, they're looking to do some things. They want to give back. We have senior citizens that want to give back. And why not? We have the second portion would be, I guess, the athletic piece. And of course, that's encompassed everything. I actually want, and I'm not doing it now, but I'm looking at fall time, trying to bring the lacrosse, those basic games that you don't even think about. I want those here. And I actually have the connections with the different people and the coaches and things that know how to do it. I've coached just about everything. So I have those connections that those people are certified and they've been background checked through the government and they know their stuff. So those are the things that I want to provide as far as athletics is concerned. We talk about the body mass index, the BMI. It's out of control. So some of the academic and athletic challenges would be an option that we're actually looking at doing right now. The athletic challenges. So So with the athletic challenges, I have actual physical therapists that are right here in Richmond Heights that are saying, Nisi, you know what, let me know when I can come out and help you out. They're not doing things after certain hours. They'll come out. We're putting, actually, I just got off the phone with one of them, and we're going to put together some programs. These are programs that I have actually written for South Euclid Lyndhurst and also for Collinwood. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to incorporate small bits and pieces of those things here in Richmond Heights. What I like to call this season, or rather say this summer, is going to be mostly an appetizer for what we're actually going to bring. So you know how you start off with a meal, right? You start out with the appetizer first, right? That's just something to just, you know, get that little hunger off of you. So when you get there in that restaurant, you're sitting there and you're hungry and they can't prepare a full meal, so guess what? You're going to get a little appetizer. Once you go into the salad and the soup piece, then you can roll into, you're okay, your stomach's like, okay, you know what, I can flow with this. By the time you get that main course, you're ready to grub, you're ready to put it down. So you eat whatever we provide, and it's going to be a massive, large, it's going to be whatever you want. You're going to be able to put all those things on that plate and feel good about it. Now, to top it off, I've already started and began thinking about the dessert, because you got to finish it right. So we got other things planned for that, and I won't let you know what that is until next summer. But we got it planned. We got it scheduled, and we do have it planned. Now, the last piece that I wanted to talk about was the social piece. Now, that's the social etiquette. That's the home economics. That's the basic stuff that our kids don't really know nowadays. That's the gardening. That's the just understanding how to speak when you walk into a room. Hello, how are you? You know, that leadership piece is a social piece that we don't provide in schools even anymore. When they walk into a classroom, the teachers expect them to sit down and know how to righteously sit there and listen. That does not happen that anymore because we don't teach those things. So those are the opportunities that we want to bring forth with our social pieces. I have a lot of different social professors, I suppose you could say, that actually are going to provide their services for us. Just the whole kit caboodle in one. You have to make people spherical to be able to sit and talk to them and have an understanding of where they're coming from. Because you can't expect everybody to know everything. If they knew everything, then we wouldn't be who we are today, and as human beings. So I hope that was enough for you.
Oh, great.
Yes, baby.
It sounds really, it sounds really great, but how, what will be the method of getting the words out?
The communication piece. The communication piece is social network. And I taught communications for about 8 years with AT&T, which was Ameritech when I first began. We've been through a variety of change. I was a facilitator for 5 states. So the communication piece has a lot to do with us basically speaking and talking to our comrades, our community, our neighbors. That has to do with the social media piece. And of course, I can name about 5 different pieces on that. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We got Pinterest. We got, you know, you got 50-Minute Kick. You got all these different areas that you can actually take advantage of. We also have our newspaper, which is the media piece. And I have connections with the Plain Dealer. I got them in my phone right now. But I mean, these people have been knowing me for years. Plain Dealer, Teresa Audio with News Herald, Sarah with Sun, and you guys are familiar with Sarah. But like Teresa Audio just switched over from the athletic piece to now the social media piece. She's already given me a call, say, hey, I need your help with this. I know you're good with it. I need to get some stuff out. Can you make the connections for me? Not a problem. I got a connection right here in Richmond Heights. We're going to put you out there. So that's one piece. Then I have the connections with the magazines and the different local catalogs that are going on out here. If you didn't know, I used to work with Urban League also. I was a facilitator for, I was the lead facilitator for Urban League, so we do have a connection with that also. The media, as far as it's concerned, on TV, there's a variety of different connections. If you know, I don't know if you do or not, there's about 3 to 4 different people that live right here in Richmond Heights that actually are on TV. Right now, as newscasters, as news connections, I have a variety of connections that way. So we're looking at trying to ease ourselves into that. Now, we don't want to hit everything at the same time. So like I said, it's an appetizer. We got to put ourselves out there slowly but surely. The other piece of it, like phone calls, I have young people actually going to volunteer during summertime. You do know that they have to have community service hours. So they've already began starting that. We already have an email list going. We're going to start loading our email list from different people in a variety of different community members that are optioning to help and volunteer for those things. We have a phone bank that we'll be setting up so they can actually start that. We've already formatted an actual sponsorship letter, donation letter, and communication letter that will be going out to our communications. I actually have already spoken with a variety of different companies that will be donating their finances and their time to give out the communication pieces for us. So that'll be half the battle, you know, for me at least. I'm just thinking, I mean, of course you got your cell phones, so that's gonna be, and then we got the mass communication from the school system, and also now we have the actual local line that we can actually use also. So the communications piece will be one of the major cases for us in Richmond Heights, and you know as well as I have, that's been our struggles for years. So one thing that I know that's gonna be a plus for us is the communication piece. That's gonna open up doors that haven't been there before.
I certainly wish you could get excited about it.
I am so
Talking about a buffet.
I'm talking about a buffet. Yes.
That's beautiful.
I'm from the country. We do meals big, baby. You get up in the morning, breakfast is everything. So that's you know, that's what I look for. My mom always taught me, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right. And he said, you know, whatever you choose to be, just make sure that you're the best at it, whatever it is. If you choose to be a fool, you're the best fool you're gonna be. That's what she told us. So I'm just trying to be the best at it.
Well, the Mother's Day breakfast was, pancake breakfast was great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It was great. At that time, you made I made a comment regarding your plans for Father's Day.
Yes, yes. We're working on that right now.
Yeah.
We're not leaving Dad's out.
That sounded
We're not leaving Dad's out.
Thank
We
you.
do have a Father's Day plan. Actually, we have it, and it's actually going to be, you guys will be seeing it. It's already in the city edition. We're waiting to get that information out, and hopefully we'll release it tomorrow morning. So the city edition will be out. It's June, if I'm not mistaken, June 28th we're going for. Now, the reason and most people say, why don't you do it on Father's Day or Father's Day weekend? Well, I don't like to do things the same weekend as everybody else. And the reason I don't is because my mom always told me, if you're going to celebrate me, don't celebrate me when everybody else celebrates me. Celebrate me all year round, or at least on an odd day. So the 28th is going to be that date, and it's going to be more or less a big, something that daddies don't get all the time. The big hangout, we're going to try to play kickball, softball, baseball, just have a big cookout. I got some secrets and things that I don't want to share right now that we're going to pop out there for you guys. Some of the things, you know, some of the things, you know, I did an actual survey, and I wanted to put a survey out to the community, which I still may, because I'm thinking about Survey Monkey might be an awesome communication piece on that. But one of the biggest things with the guys was everybody automatically thinks about sports. You know, I'm an athlete, yeah, I think about sports, but all guys don't do sports. So I asked a lot of guys, I'm like, well, you know, around the community, I'm like, what do you want? And like, you know, I don't want to do sports all the time. You know, yeah, I like to watch them, but I don't like to do them. You know, so we started talking to them, and they came up with home improvement and all types of different things. So it's going to be some things that you guys are going to be excited about when you get a chance out there. You're going to hang out and eat and just have a good time. So that will be coming out though in the next, if it's not tomorrow, it'll be by Friday.
Okay. Well, with that, we want to thank you for enlightening us. And I'm with Elliot. I love that enthusiasm.
Oh yeah, this is me all the time. This is me all the time. I don't know.
But again, thank you for coming and sitting with us and sharing that.
No problem. Thank you guys for all the work that you're putting in to helping us with the charter and trying to keep the city aligned.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Denise.
Sure. I don't want to keep you back.
Serious individual from the public, would anyone from the public like to make a comment or have any questions? Okay. We're going to be excused for next Tuesday, since we did some overtime today. We're not going to meet Tuesday, which will be the 27th. We'll return on June the 3rd. So come back for your 2-week vacation. Everybody have a very good, be fired up, and we're gonna follow Lisa. We're always fired up.
That's right. That's
So-
the coach in me.
Are there any more questions or anything? Is there a motion that this meeting be adjourned? It's been moved that the meeting be adjourned. It's been moved and seconded that the meeting be adjourned. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.